The message came to Earth as a flicker in the night sky, a massive Galactic Council vessel, hovering silently above the world. Its purpose was singular, and its passengers were few, the last hope for survival. The Council had requested Earth's wisest elders, and humanity had sent them. There was Niles Harrison, a former military strategist in his 90s, his mind still sharp despite the wrinkles on his face. He had seen combat in Earth's final World War, orchestrating the strategies that ended the conflict. Beside him sat Dr. Emily Zhao, a physicist and engineer who had pioneered humanity's breakthroughs in faster-than-light travel. Her once black hair had turned silver, but her eyes still sparkled with the same determination that had led her to solve problems others believed impossible. Then there was Father Arturo, a spiritual leader who had guided millions through decades of turmoil and loss. He spoke little, preferring contemplation over conversation, but his presence was always calming. Next to him was Jameson Croft, a diplomat whose mastery of negotiation had brought countless nations to peace. And lastly, Oleg Markov, an agronomist who had saved billions from famine, mastering the art of feeding the masses with increasingly scarce resources. These 5 elders were humanity's offering to the Galactic Council. They were not warriors, nor engineers, but thinkers and leaders whose experience spanned lifetimes. As the Galactic Council vessel rose into the stars, Niles glanced around at his fellow travelers. "Do you think they're really that desperate?" he asked, his voice gravelly from years of use. Dr. Zhao responded without looking up from her tablet. "Desperate enough to trust us with their survival. We must be their last resort." "Or their only resort," Croft added, the diplomat's calm voice tinged with concern. Father Arturo remained silent, eyes closed, fingers tracing the beads of a rosary in his lap. Oleg sat across from him, staring out the viewport at the shrinking Earth. "It's strange," he muttered. "We're going to save a galaxy, but I wonder if we're really the ones who should be doing this." Before anyone could respond, the ship shuddered, signaling its transition into faster-than-light travel. The stars outside blurred into streaks of light, and Earth disappeared entirely. The journey through the stars was long, but the ship's interior was quiet, almost too serene for the gravity of their mission. The 5 elders had been given private quarters and a common space, though none seemed interested in talking just yet. Instead, each was wrapped in their thoughts, contemplating the unknown ahead of them. Niles sat alone in the common area, absently running his hand over the smooth metal table in front of him. The sleek technology of the Galactic Council ship was impressive, though to him, it still felt cold. No matter how advanced their technology, there was something unsettling about being so far from Earth. His thoughts wandered back to his days as a general, commanding troops in battles he had never expected to survive. But this felt different. There was no enemy he could see, no battlefield to strategize. Dr. Zhao entered the room, her eyes tired but focused. She set down her tablet and sat across from him. "Penny for your thoughts, General?" she asked, offering a small smile. Niles chuckled. "I haven't been called that in years. Just Niles now." "Old habits die hard," Zhao replied, leaning back in her chair. "But seriously, what's on your mind?" He sighed. "I don't know if I belong here. A galactic crisis, and they want advice from a war strategist who hasn't seen combat in decades. Doesn't seem like the right fit." Zhao tapped her fingers on the table. "I think they want more than just military advice, Niles. They want all of us for what we represent. You've seen the worst of humanity and found ways to end wars. I've spent my life breaking the laws of physics. Arturo's counseled the souls of millions, and Oleg he saved the world from starvation." Niles nodded, but he still looked uncertain. "I just hope we're enough." Before Zhao could respond, the ship's lights dimmed, and a soft voice echoed through the chambers. "Arrival at the Galactic Council headquarters imminent. Prepare for docking." The 5 elders gathered in the central chamber as the ship descended toward the Council's headquarters, a massive space station orbiting a dying star. The structure was unlike anything they had seen before, a fusion of alien architecture and raw power. As they docked, the docking bay doors slid open to reveal a delegation of council representatives waiting for them. The Viralion ambassador stepped forward, a tall, sleek being with smooth, silver skin and large, unblinking eyes. The Viralions were known for their logic and lack of emotion, and this ambassador was no exception. "Welcome, humans," the ambassador said in a voice that seemed to resonate in their minds more than their ears. "We thank you for responding to our call." Jameson Croft stepped forward, his diplomat instincts kicking in. "The honor is ours, Ambassador. We hope we can be of assistance in your time of need." The ambassador gestured for them to follow. "We shall see. The situation is unprecedented." As they walked through the vast corridors of the station, the humans couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. The station hummed with activity, yet the faces of the aliens they passed seemed tense, anxious even. Whatever this crisis was, it had shaken the galaxy to its core. They were led to a grand chamber where the full Galactic Council awaited. Representatives from dozens of species stood in a semicircle, their expressions grim. At the center of the room, a holographic display flickered to life, showing a swirling mass of energy, vast and terrifying. "This," the Viralion ambassador said, "is the anomaly." The elders stared at the image, trying to make sense of what they were seeing. It wasn't just a storm, it was something alive, something sentient, and it was spreading. "The anomaly has consumed 3 star systems in the past week alone," the ambassador continued. "It is growing, and it defies all known science. Every attempt to understand or contain it has failed. If it continues, it will devour the galaxy." Father Arturo stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. "And you believe we can help?" The ambassador looked at them, unblinking. "You are our last hope." The room fell into a tense silence as the 5 elders processed the magnitude of the task ahead of them. The anomaly wasn't just a threat to the Council systems, it was a threat to the entire galaxy, possibly to the very fabric of existence itself. Niles, ever the tactician, was the first to break the silence. "What do you know about it? How did this thing come about?" The Viralion ambassador turned to the holographic image, gesturing with a graceful hand. "The anomaly appeared without warning on the fringes of the Kilthan Nebula, a region we believe to be stable. It manifested first as a small disturbance, perhaps no larger than a moon. But within days, it grew exponentially, consuming everything in its path: planets, stars, entire solar systems." Dr. Zhao leaned forward, examining the image. "Has anyone made contact with it? Is there any sign of communication or intelligence?" The ambassador's silver eyes blinked slowly. "We have attempted communication through every known method. Radio waves, quantum entanglement messaging, even psionic contact through our telepathic allies, the Tyranians. All have failed. We can detect some form of intelligence within the anomaly, but it does not respond to anything we recognize." Oleg Markov, the agronomist, frowned. "What about physical attempts? Have you tried engaging it with technology? Energy fields, gravity wells, anything?" "We have," the ambassador responded, its voice dipping slightly in tone. "We deployed several fleets, armed with our most advanced weapons. All were lost. The anomaly consumes everything, including our technology." "Technology isn't always the answer," Father Arturo murmured, almost to himself. His eyes remained fixed on the swirling mass of energy in the hologram. Jameson Croft, ever the diplomat, sensed the growing tension in the room. "It sounds like you've thrown everything you know at this problem," he said carefully. "But you didn't bring us here because we have better technology. You brought us because of our perspective, our experience." The Viralion ambassador gave a slight nod. "Precisely. Our council has reached the limits of its capabilities. We are not equipped to think, as you do." Dr. Zhao crossed her arms, her brow furrowed in thought. "So what do you need from us?" The ambassador straightened, addressing the room. "We need a fresh approach, a solution that lies beyond the confines of our understanding. Humanity has always been unorthodox in its methods. This is why we believe you might hold the key to unraveling the anomaly." There was a weight in the air, a pressure that settled on the shoulders of the 5 elders as they stood before the assembled council. They were here, on behalf of humanity, to offer wisdom to a galaxy teetering on the brink of annihilation. But none of them had expected the challenge would be this great. Niles turned to his fellow elders. "We've faced impossible odds before. Each of us, in our own way. This isn't any different." "It's very different," Oleg countered, his voice steady but strained. "We're talking about a force of nature that defies everything we know. We've never encountered anything like this." "We have," Father Arturo said quietly, breaking his usual silence. All eyes turned to him, waiting for an explanation. He stared at the hologram for a long moment before speaking again. "It's not the first time humanity has faced something beyond our control, something we didn't understand. Whether it was plagues, wars, or the mysteries of the universe itself, we've always found a way through." The others nodded, absorbing his words. There was a truth to it. Humanity had always been faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges, only to survive, evolve, and rise again. The ambassador gestured to a side door leading out of the council chamber. "We have prepared a suite for your use. There you will find all the data we have gathered on the anomaly. You may take as much time as you need." As they exited the grand chamber, the elders shared uneasy glances. There was a sense of foreboding among them, a recognition that this would be unlike anything they had faced before. But despite the fear, there was also determination. Inside their suite, the walls were lined with screens displaying various data streams, star maps, and energy readings from the anomaly. It was a staggering amount of information, and for a moment, the elders stood in stunned silence. Dr. Zhao immediately went to one of the terminals and began poring over the data. "We have a lot of work to do." Niles nodded, his military instincts kicking in. "We'll split up and approach this from different angles. I'll analyze their tactical failures, see if there's anything they missed." Oleg moved to another terminal, already scanning through the environmental data. "I'll look at the biological and ecological aspects. If this thing is consuming matter, there might be something in the way it interacts with its surroundings." "I'll handle diplomacy," Croft said. "If we can't fight it or understand it, maybe we can reason with it." Father Arturo remained in the center of the room, staring at the swirling holographic anomaly. "And I will pray." The hours blurred together as each of the elders immersed themselves in their respective areas of study. The anomaly's data was overwhelming, but the team worked tirelessly, each playing to their strengths. They barely spoke as they dug deeper into the enigma, the pressure of the galaxy's survival hanging over them like a dark cloud. Dr. Zhao was the first to break the silence. "I've never seen anything like this." She stared at her screen, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. "The anomaly, it doesn't behave according to any known physical laws. It's not just bending space-time, it's rewriting it." Niles looked up from his own station, where he had been reviewing the military reports of failed engagements. "What does that mean?" Zhao's eyes remained fixed on her screen. "It means we're dealing with something that doesn't play by our rules. Every force we've sent against it, gravitational fields, energy weapons, antimatter bombs, it just absorbs them. But more than that, it changes them, mutates them into something else. The laws of physics don't apply here." "That explains why the fleets were destroyed," Niles muttered. "They went in with the assumption they could overpower it with brute force. That was their first mistake." Jameson Croft rubbed his chin, deep in thought. "If it's not responding to technology or force, maybe it's because we're not asking the right questions. This thing, it's more than a force of nature. It has intent. It's acting with purpose." "Then the question is, what does it want?" Oleg chimed in. He had been studying the ecological data, trying to understand the anomaly's impact on the systems it had consumed. "I've been looking at the planets it's devoured. The common factor isn't just the destruction, it's that it leaves nothing behind. No remnants, no trace of the civilizations that once existed. It wipes them out completely, down to the molecular level." Father Arturo, who had been quietly sitting in the corner, finally spoke. His voice was soft but carried weight. "It's seeking something. Or someone." The others turned to him, confused. "What do you mean?" Niles asked. Arturo stood and approached the hologram of the anomaly. His gaze was distant, as though seeing beyond the swirling mass of energy. "I've seen this pattern before. Not in the physical sense, but in the spiritual. There's a hunger here, a yearning. It's not mindless destruction, it's searching for something it believes it's lost." The room fell silent as they processed his words. Could the anomaly truly be driven by a need, rather than pure destruction? Croft stepped forward, his diplomatic mind already working through the possibilities. "If that's true, if this anomaly is sentient and searching for something, then maybe there's a way to communicate with it. Not through force or technology, but on a different level. A level it understands." Dr. Zhao looked skeptical. "You're suggesting we try to communicate with something that's rewriting the laws of the universe. How would we even begin?" Croft turned to her. "Through understanding. We need to figure out what it's looking for, what it's trying to reclaim. If we can offer it that, maybe we can stop it." Niles, ever the pragmatist, crossed his arms. "And if we're wrong? If it's not searching for anything, and we're just dealing with an unstoppable force?" "Then we'll fail," Croft said simply. "But if we don't try, we've already lost." The room fell into a tense silence once again, the weight of the decision pressing down on them. But there was no alternative. They had to take a leap of faith, one grounded in humanity's greatest strength, its ability to empathize, to understand the unknowable. As they continued their work, Father Arturo remained by the hologram, lost in thought. There was something familiar about the way the anomaly moved, something ancient and profound. It reminded him of the stories he had read as a young priest, tales of gods and demons, of forces that transcended the physical realm. He couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than just a cosmic phenomenon. It was something alive, something that had existed long before the galaxies had formed. Suddenly, a soft chime echoed through the room, signaling an incoming transmission. The Virilian ambassador's voice filled the air. "Honored elders, the council requests an update on your progress. Time is running short. The anomaly is expanding toward the core worlds, and we estimate it will reach them within the next 72 hours. Niles exchanged a glance with the others. 72 hours? That's all we have." "Yes," the ambassador replied gravely. "The council is preparing for evacuation, but even that may not be enough. We need a solution, now." Dr. Zhao sighed, running a hand through her hair. "We're working on it, but this is more complex than we anticipated. We need more time." "There is no more time," the ambassador said, its voice tinged with something that almost resembled fear. "If we do not stop the anomaly within the next 3 days, it will consume the core worlds, and from there, it will spread to the rest of the galaxy." The transmission ended, leaving the room in heavy silence. The reality of their situation was hitting harder than ever. The entire galaxy rested on their shoulders. Niles clenched his fists, his military mind racing. "Then we need to act fast. We need to figure out what this thing wants, and we need to figure it out now." Arturo nodded, his gaze still fixed on the hologram. I may have an idea." Father Arturo's statement hung in the air, drawing the attention of the other elders. The others paused, eyes turning to the old priest, who had so far been quiet, contemplative. Now, he stood before the swirling image of the anomaly with a strange clarity in his eyes. "What do you mean?" Dr. Zhao asked, approaching him. Arturo's face was calm but intense. "I've been thinking about what you said, Oleg. This thing consumes everything, but it's more than destruction. It leaves no trace, no history, no memory behind. It's like it's erasing existence itself, and that feels deliberate." Niles crossed his arms. "Go on." Arturo took a breath, his mind reaching back to his years of study, of reflection. In ancient human religions, there were stories of gods or beings that sought to cleanse the universe, to remove everything and return it to a state of nothingness. They weren't just interested in destruction, they wanted to erase existence entirely, to revert it to a pure void. Void, Oleg muttered, connecting the dots. An anomaly that erases everything back to a void. That does sound familiar. Zhao frowned. Are you suggesting this is some kind of ancient being? A god, maybe? Not a god, but something close, Arturo answered. Something older than our understanding of time. We think of the universe as having laws, physics, gravity, entropy, but what if this thing existed before those laws were written? What if it's trying to restore the universe to its original state, a state of nothingness? The room fell into silence as they considered this. It wasn't far-fetched, not with what they were seeing. The anomaly's behavior fit the pattern. It wasn't just a mindless force of destruction. It was deliberate, calculated. It wanted something. It wants to undo creation, Croft said slowly, his voice filled with a growing realization. It's not just searching for something, it's searching for the void, the nothing that came before everything. Then we can't reason with it, Niles said grimly. You can't negotiate with something that wants to unmake existence. But maybe we can stop it, Zhao added quickly. If we understand it, we can find a way to counter it. Father Arturo nodded. There may be a way, but we need to figure out where it came from. Why it's appeared now, of all times. The team worked in silence for several more hours, combing through the vast data the Galactic Council had provided. Each elder followed their own thread, seeking a pattern, a clue that might explain the anomaly's origins. The pressure was mounting with every passing hour, the weight of the galaxy's fate pressing down on them. It was Oleg who broke the silence first, his voice filled with excitement. I think I found something. The others gathered around his terminal as he pulled up a map of the galaxy. Look at this. The anomaly started here, in the Kilthan Nebula, right? He pointed to a swirling cloud of gas and dust on the map. But the nebula wasn't always just gas. Millions of years ago, it was home to an advanced civilization, the Eoth. Niles raised an eyebrow. The Eoth? I've never heard of them. Most haven't, Oleg explained. They disappeared long before humanity was even crawling out of the oceans. But there are traces of them in ancient Galactic Council records. The Eoth were masters of quantum manipulation, able to bend the very fabric of reality to their will. They built devices, massive constructs that could reshape space-time itself. Are you saying the anomaly is a result of their technology? Zhao asked, her eyes narrowing. Oleg nodded. It's possible. I've found references to a device they built, something called the Nexus Core. It was designed to stabilize the fabric of space-time. But if something went wrong, well, we're looking at what happens when you lose control of that kind of power. Arturo exhaled slowly. It's not just a random event. The anomaly is a consequence of something ancient, something the Eoth left behind. Their desire to control the universe might have unleashed this. Zhao shook her head in disbelief. And now we're dealing with the fallout of a mistake made millions of years ago. Niles leaned back, his mind racing. So, what's the plan? We can't destroy it with force, and reasoning with it is off the table. Is there any way to reverse what the Eoth did? There might be, Oleg replied cautiously. The Nexus Core was designed to be self-regulating, meaning it should have a fail-safe. If we can find the original device, we might be able to shut it down. Croft frowned. But we don't know where this Nexus Core is. We do now, Oleg said, zooming in on the map. The Council's data includes an old Eoth ruin located near the core of the anomaly. It matches descriptions of the Nexus Core's location. If we can reach it, we might have a chance. It's a long shot, Niles muttered, but it's the only shot we've got. Father Arturo nodded, his expression grim. We need to go there. We need to shut this thing down before it consumes everything. With their course set, the team prepared for the journey ahead. They would need to travel to the heart of the anomaly, to the place where the Eoth's ancient technology had gone horribly wrong. It would be a dangerous mission, perhaps even suicidal, but the fate of the galaxy depended on their success. As they boarded the Council's most advanced starship, the Ethra, a cold silence settled over them. The journey into the heart of the anomaly would test not only their skills and knowledge, but their very resolve as human beings. And deep within the swirling vortex of energy that was the anomaly, something stirred, watching their approach. The Ithra hummed with a deep, almost ominous energy as it sliced through the void of space, heading straight for the heart of the anomaly. The ship itself was a marvel of Galactic Council engineering, its sleek frame encased in a dense alloy that had been designed to withstand extreme gravitational forces, particle storms, and the unknown dangers that awaited them. Inside the ship, the atmosphere was thick with tension. The elders, though seasoned and calm under pressure, could feel the weight of the impending mission bearing down on them. They had been briefed on the dangers, the unpredictable nature of the anomaly, the chance of catastrophic failure, and the very real possibility that they might not return. In the command center, Niles stood at the forefront, his eyes scanning the holographic displays that charted their course. The anomaly loomed ahead like a colossal storm, its swirling mass of energy pulsing with an unsettling rhythm. Dr. Zhao sat nearby, working furiously on her terminal, trying to understand the anomaly's behavior as they drew closer. "The gravitational distortions are getting stronger," she muttered, half to herself. "If we get too close without adjusting our shields, we'll be torn apart before we even reach the Nexus core." "Let me know what adjustments we need," Niles responded coolly, not looking away from the display. His military instincts were in full gear, calculating risks, readying for action. Father Archero, standing near the large viewing port, gazed out at the anomaly, a deep sense of foreboding washing over him. "It's alive," he said quietly, his voice barely above a whisper. "I can feel it. It knows we're coming." Oleg, sitting at another console, glanced over at the priest. "What do you mean, alive? Do you really think this thing is sentient?" Archero nodded. "I don't know how to explain it, but there's an intelligence behind this. It's not just a force of nature, it's aware of us. It's aware of everything." Croft, who had been silently observing the exchange, spoke up. "If that's true, then we have to assume it's going to resist us. It won't just let us shut down the Nexus core." The ship's pilot, a seasoned Virilian named Torix, interrupted the conversation. "We're approaching the outer edges of the anomaly," he said, his voice steady but tense. "Prepare for gravitational fluctuations." Suddenly, the ship jolted violently, as if an invisible hand had grabbed hold of it and tried to pull it apart. The lights flickered and warning alarms blared as the Ithra struggled to maintain its course. "Shields are holding, but barely," Zhao shouted, her fingers flying across her console as she rerouted power to the ship's protective barriers. "We need to stabilize or we're going to be ripped apart." Niles grabbed onto the edge of the command console, his knuckles white. "Torix, get us back on course, adjust for the gravitational pull, and keep the ship steady." "I'm trying," the pilot barked back, his multiple arms working the controls with expert precision. "But this thing, it's like flying into a black hole with a mind of its own." The ship groaned under the strain, but slowly it began to level out. The alarms quieted, though the ever-present hum of the anomaly's influence still reverberated through the ship. "Are we through?" Oleg asked, his voice shaky but steady. "We're in the anomaly now," Torix responded, his voice low. "But we're not safe. The Nexus core is still deep within, and the gravitational forces are only going to get worse." Father Archero, still gazing out the window, closed his eyes in silent prayer. He could feel the presence of the anomaly more clearly now. It wasn't just alive, it was calling, reaching out to him, to all of them. It wasn't malicious, but it was desperate. Whatever this thing was, it wanted something, and it wouldn't stop until it had it. Suddenly, his eyes snapped open, and a realization hit him. "It's not just trying to return to the void," he said urgently. "It's looking for a way to complete itself. It's broken." The others turned to him, confused. "What are you talking about?" Niles asked. Archero's brow furrowed. "This anomaly, it's not whole. Something is missing. It's searching for a piece of itself that was lost, something that was taken from it long ago." Oleg's eyes widened as the pieces began to fall into place. The ETH, when they built the Nexus core, they must have fractured the anomaly. It's been trying to restore itself ever since. And we're standing in its way, Niles said grimly. Zhao's fingers flew across her console again, pulling up the schematics of the Nexus core. If that's true, then we need to find out what piece is missing. Maybe we can use it to bargain with the anomaly, to give it what it wants so it will stop. Croft crossed his arms, his eyes narrowing in thought. Or we could use that knowledge to shut it down entirely. If we can figure out what's missing, we could destabilize the anomaly from within. Arturo shook his head. We don't have the right to destroy it. This thing, it's part of the universe, just like we are. We need to restore balance, not eliminate it. Niles looked torn, his pragmatic side at odds with the moral implications. But before he could respond, the ship's alarm blared again. This time, it wasn't a gravitational fluctuation, it was a warning. Something's approaching, Torix said, his voice tense. We've got company. On the ship's sensors, a new threat appeared, a massive, shifting form made of energy, surging toward the Ethra from deep within the anomaly. Brace yourselves, Niles shouted as the creature came into view, a swirling vortex of energy, the embodiment of the anomaly's will, intent on stopping them. The creature came into view like a storm made of pure energy. It wasn't solid, but a maelstrom of gravitational currents and particles, spinning and twisting as it hurtled toward the Ethra. For a moment, everyone in the command center stood frozen, transfixed by its chaotic beauty, before Niles' voice cut through the silence. Weapons, bring weapons online. Oleg snapped to action, his hands racing across his console. I'm diverting power to the ion cannons, but I don't know if they'll have any effect on something like that. We have to try, Niles said, his voice hard. Torix, evasive maneuvers, keep us out of its trajectory. The ship lurched to the side as Torix engaged the thrusters, attempting to outmaneuver the incoming energy storm. The creature adjusted course effortlessly, tracking the Ethra with deadly precision. Zhao's fingers moved with frantic speed as she analyzed the entity's structure. It's not just energy, it's a manifestation of the anomaly's gravitational fields. If we can disrupt the balance, we might be able to neutralize it. How? Niles asked, his voice strained as the ship shook from the force of the creature's approach. I'm not sure yet, Zhao replied, her voice high with tension. But we can't let it reach us. Oleg unleashed the ship's ion cannons, blue streaks of energy blazing through space toward the incoming vortex. The blast hit the creature's swirling mass, but instead of dispersing, it absorbed the energy, growing larger and more volatile. It's feeding on the energy, Oleg shouted. We're making it stronger. Niles gritted his teeth. Stop firing. Torix, full power to thrusters. We need distance. But the creature was faster. In a matter of seconds, it closed the gap between them, surrounding the Ethra in a suffocating vortex of gravitational waves. The ship shuddered violently, warning alarms blaring as the hull creaked under the strain. We're being pulled in, Torix yelled. I can't keep us stable. Zhao's eyes widened as she studied the data streaming across her console. Wait, this thing isn't just attacking us, it's testing us. Father Arturo, who had been silently watching the events unfold, spoke up. It's trying to understand us. It's part of the anomaly, and it's searching for what was lost. This is its way of communicating. Niles frowned. Communicating? It's about to tear us apart. Arturo shook his head. Not yet. It wants something from us. Zhao's brow furrowed as she pieced together the anomaly's behavior. If that's true, then maybe we can use this to our advantage. We need to figure out what it wants, what it's missing. Oleg clenched his fists. We don't have time for guesswork. This thing is about to crush us. Arturo moved to the center of the room, his eyes fixed on the swirling mass outside the ship's windows. No, he said softly, it won't. Not if we show it what it's looking for. Niles shot him a skeptical glance. And what exactly is that? Arturo closed his eyes, reaching out with his mind, feeling the pulse of the anomaly's energy. It was chaotic, fragmented, but underneath the chaos, there was a longing, a deep, ancient need. "It's searching for its creator," Arturo said quietly. "The Earth. When they built the Nexus core, they disrupted the natural order. This anomaly, it's trying to restore what was lost." Zhao's eyes lit up with realization. Of course, the Earth used the Nexus core to harness the anomaly's power, but they didn't understand the full consequences. The anomaly wasn't just a source of energy, it was part of a greater system, a cosmic balance that they disturbed. Niles rubbed his temples, the weight of the situation pressing down on him. "So how do we fix it? How do we stop this thing from ripping us apart?" Arturo's voice was calm, but firm. "We need to offer it something in return, a way to heal the fracture." Zhao was already working furiously at her console. "I think I can adjust our shields to emit a harmonic resonance that matches the anomaly's energy signature. If we can create a stable field, we might be able to calm it down." Niles nodded. "Do it. Oleg, get ready to boost power to the shields. We'll need every ounce of energy we have." As Zhao worked, the ship continued to shake violently. The vortex outside pressed harder, its gravitational waves tightening like a noose around the Ethra. Time was running out. "Almost there," Zhao muttered, her fingers flying across the controls. "Just a few more adjustments." Suddenly, the ship jolted, and a loud crack echoed through the hull. The lights flickered, and the warning alarms blared louder than ever. "We're losing structural integrity," Torix shouted. "If we don't do something now, we're done for." "Zhao," Niles barked. "Now or never." With a final keystroke, Zhao activated the modified shield system. A low hum filled the ship as the shields flared to life, emitting a pulsing wave of energy that resonated in harmony with the anomaly. For a moment, nothing happened. The vortex continued to rage around them, the ship groaning under the pressure. But then, slowly, the energy storm began to calm. The swirling mass of gravitational currents eased, the violent turbulence giving way to a strange, eerie stillness. "It's working," Zhao whispered, her voice filled with awe. "We've stabilized the anomaly's energy field." Niles let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. "Good work, but we're not out of this yet." Arturo, still standing in the center of the room, spoke again, his voice soft but resolute. "We need to go deeper. The Nexus core is still out there, and it's the key to restoring balance. We have to find it." Niles nodded grimly. "Then let's finish this." With the anomaly temporarily pacified, the Ethra moved forward, deeper into the heart of the disturbance. Whatever lay ahead, they were ready to face it together. The deeper they ventured, the stranger the space around them became. The Ethra was now navigating through a landscape that defied all known physics. Stars flickered in and out of existence, vast nebulas twisted in impossible spirals, and gravitational anomalies created pockets where time seemed to slow or speed up unpredictably. Yet there was a strange harmony to the chaos. The resonance field that Zhao had established continued to hum around them, stabilizing the ship and keeping the worst of the distortions at bay. But the journey was taking its toll. The ship's systems were pushed to their limits, and the crew was exhausted from the relentless tension. Arturo stood at the forward observation window, gazing out at the surreal expanse. His mind reached out, trying to sense the anomaly's deeper patterns, searching for the Nexus core. The others left him to his meditation, knowing they were in uncharted territory now, where only intuition and wisdom could guide them. "It feels like we're heading into the eye of the storm," Oleg muttered, running diagnostics on the ship's systems. Niles, standing nearby, nodded. "Whatever's at the center of this, it's where we'll find our answers." Zhao looked up from her console. "I've run every scan I can think of, but there's nothing concrete. Whatever the Nexus core is, it doesn't exist in a form we can easily detect." "We'll have to trust Arturo," Niles said quietly. Torix, still at the helm, glanced at the elder with skepticism. "I respect the guy, But we're putting a lot of faith in someone whose main source of intel is gut feeling. Zhao shot him a sharp look. His insights got us this far, and if you hadn't noticed, we're still alive because of him. Torix raised his hands in surrender. Fair point. Suddenly, Arturo stirred. His eyes opened, and there was a new clarity in them. He turned to Niles, his voice calm but urgent. We're close. I can feel it. The Nexus core. It's not a device. Not in the way we understand technology. It's a live part of the anomaly itself. Niles frowned. Alive? You mean it's sentient? Arturo nodded. In a way, it's more like a collective consciousness, a network of minds woven together across space and time. The ETH didn't just build it, they merged with it. That's why the anomaly is so unstable. The Nexus core lost its anchors when the ETH vanished. So how do we fix it? Oleg asked, leaning forward. Arturo hesitated. We can't fix it, but we can give it something new to anchor itself to something that can restore balance. Niles narrowed his eyes. And what exactly is that? The only thing powerful enough to stabilize the Nexus core is a conscious mind, someone who can bridge the gap between its fragmented state and the order it once had. Oleg's eyes widened. You're saying it needs one of us? Arturo's silence was answer enough. The room went still. Zhao was the first to break the silence. But if someone merges with it, wouldn't that mean? They would become part of the Nexus core, Arturo said softly. Their consciousness would join the network, permanently. Torix shook his head. That's insane. We came here to save the galaxy, not to sacrifice one of us to some ancient machine. Niles' jaw clenched. Is there no other way? Arturo met his gaze. The Nexus core is searching for stability. It needs a connection to something real, something grounded. Without that, the anomaly will keep growing, and eventually, it will consume everything. This is the only way. The weight of his words settled over the crew like a heavy blanket. Niles stared out at the swirling chaos outside the ship, grappling with the enormity of the decision before them. This wasn't just about the mission anymore, it was about what they were willing to sacrifice to save billions of lives. I'll do it. The voice was quiet but firm. Zhao stood, her face resolute, her eyes shining with a determination that cut through the tension in the room. Niles turned to her, shock and anger flashing across his face. Zhao, no. It has to be me, she interrupted, her voice steady. I understand the anomaly's energy patterns better than anyone. I can make the connection, stabilize the core. This is what I've been preparing for my whole life. Niles shook his head. We'll find another way. There is no other way, Zhao said firmly, stepping closer to him. You know that. The room fell silent again, the weight of her words sinking in. Zhao looked at each of them in turn, Oleg, Torix, Arturo, and finally back to Niles. This is the only way to save everyone, and it's my choice. Niles clenched his fists, struggling with a decision. He had always known Zhao to be fiercely independent, unflinching in the face of danger. But this was asking too much. Damn it, Zhao, he muttered under his breath, his voice breaking. She gave him a small, sad smile. I know, but I'm ready. Arturo stepped forward, his expression somber. I will guide you through the process. It won't be easy, but if anyone can do this, it's you. Zhao nodded, her resolve unshaken. She turned back to Niles one last time, her eyes filled with a quiet determination. Take care of them, she said softly. Niles felt a lump form in his throat. He nodded, unable to find the words to say goodbye. Without another word, Zhao followed Arturo to the central console, where the final phase of their mission would begin. The central chamber of the Ethra was eerily quiet as Zhao prepared for the integration process. The room was dimly lit by the soft glow of the control panels, casting long shadows that danced across the walls. Arturo worked methodically, setting up the interface that would connect Zhao to the Nexus core. Niles, Oleg, and Torix watched from a distance, their faces a mixture of anxiety and respect. The tension was palpable, a living entity that seemed to press down on them from all sides. "Are you ready?" Arturo asked, his voice calm and steady. Zhao took a deep breath, her expression resolute. "I'm ready." The interface was a complex array of crystalline conduits and energy nodes, designed to bridge the gap between Zhao's consciousness and the Nexus core. Arturo guided her through the final preparations, ensuring every connection was secure. As Zhao settled into the interface, her mind focused on the task ahead. The energy pulses from the Nexus core began to resonate with her own consciousness, creating a harmonic field that pulsed with a rhythm that matched the anomaly's chaotic patterns. Arturo monitored the process closely, his eyes darting between the readouts and Zhao's calm face. "We're starting the synchronization now. Focus on the core's energy signature. Let it flow through you." Zhao nodded, her eyes closed as she concentrated. The energy around her grew more intense, a swirling vortex of light and color that seemed to stretch beyond the confines of the chamber. She could feel the Nexus core's presence, a vast, ancient intelligence that was both alien and familiar. The energy began to flow into Zhao, merging with her consciousness. It was a disorienting experience, as if she were being pulled through a tunnel of shifting colors and sounds. The core's fragmented thoughts and memories surged through her, a torrent of ancient knowledge and long-lost emotions. Despite the chaos, Zhao remained focused. She reached out with her mind, connecting with the core's essence. She could sense the broken threads of its once unified consciousness, struggling to find balance amidst the turmoil. "Stay with it, Zhao," Arturo's voice echoed through her mind. "You're doing great." Zhao concentrated on the harmonic resonance, creating a stable frequency that could begin to mend the core's fractured state. She poured her own energy and willpower into the connection, feeling the strain of the effort as the core's chaotic energy tried to overpower her. It was an exhausting struggle, but Zhao's determination remained unshaken. She could sense the core's increasing stability, the once turbulent energy field beginning to smooth out and harmonize with the rest of the galaxy. Outside the ship, the anomaly's energy patterns began to shift. The swirling vortex that had surrounded the Aethra started to wane, the intense gravitational forces easing as the Nexus core's stability increased. The stars and nebulas around them seemed to regain their natural rhythm, their light steady and predictable once more. Niles watched the monitors, his heart racing. "Is it working?" he asked, his voice barely more than a whisper. Arturo nodded, his face reflecting a mix of hope and concern. "Yes, the core is stabilizing. We're almost there." Inside the chamber, Zhao felt the final surge of energy as the core began to align with the harmonic frequency she had established. The connection was almost complete, the once fragmented consciousness beginning to merge into a coherent whole. Suddenly, a burst of intense energy shot through the chamber, causing the Aethra to shudder violently. Zhao gasped, struggling to maintain her focus as the energy waves buffeted her from all sides. "Hang on," Arturo shouted, his voice strained. "You're almost through." Zhao gritted her teeth, pushing through the overwhelming pressure. With one final, desperate effort, she forced the energy into a stable pattern, completing the connection with the Nexus core. The chamber was engulfed in a blinding flash of light as the core's energy stabilized completely. The swirling vortex outside dissipated, leaving behind a serene and harmonious space. The gravitational distortions eased, and the ship's systems returned to normal. Zhao slumped in the interface, exhausted but triumphant. Arturo quickly disconnected her from the system, helping her out of the chamber. She was pale and trembling, but there was a peaceful smile on her face. Niles rushed to her side, his expression a mixture of relief and admiration. "You did it," he said softly, his voice filled with awe. Zhao nodded weakly. "It's stable now. The anomaly, it's calming down." Oleg and Torix joined them, their faces reflecting the same sense of relief. The danger had passed, but the cost of their victory weighed heavily on them. Arturo placed a hand on Zhao's shoulder, his eyes filled with gratitude. "You've saved us all. The Nexus core will now restore balance to the galaxy." Niles took a deep breath, looking out at the now calm space through the observation window. The galaxy was once again bathed in the steady light of countless stars, a testament to the crew's bravery and sacrifice. "Let's head back," Niles said quietly. "We've done what we came here to do." As the Ithra turned away from the anomaly, the crew's thoughts were filled with a mixture of relief and sorrow. They had faced unimaginable challenges and emerged victorious, but at a great cost. Zhao's sacrifice would be remembered as a beacon of courage and selflessness. The galaxy would be forever grateful, and the crew of the Ithra would carry her memory with them as they returned to their home. The Ithra embarked on its journey back to the Galactic Council, leaving behind the remnants of the once chaotic anomaly. The crew was weary, their bodies and minds strained by the harrowing ordeal they had just endured. The once vibrant excitement had dimmed into a somber reflection of their recent loss. Niles sat in the command center, his gaze fixed on the view screen. The stars outside were steady and serene, a stark contrast to the turbulence they had just faced. He rubbed his temples, feeling the weight of Zhao's sacrifice more acutely with each passing moment. His thoughts were a tangled mess of gratitude, grief, and exhaustion. Oleg and Torix worked diligently at their stations, their movements methodical and precise despite the fatigue that clung to them. Oleg's hands moved over the controls with practiced ease, while Torix's eyes darted over the data readouts, ensuring that the Ithra remained on course. Arturo, in a quiet corner of the ship, meditated, seeking to find peace amidst the turmoil. The ancient wisdom he had brought with him was now interwoven with the stark reality of Zhao's sacrifice. The weight of the mission's success felt bittersweet, overshadowed by the loss of a brave and dedicated colleague. As they approached the Galactic Council's headquarters, the grand structure loomed ahead, a beacon of hope and authority. The massive station was a marvel of engineering, its gleaming surface reflecting the light of distant stars. It was surrounded by a flotilla of ships, each representing various species and factions within the galaxy. The docking procedures were swift and efficient. The crew of the Ithra disembarked, their expressions a mix of determination and weariness. They were greeted by a delegation of Galactic Council representatives, their faces reflecting a blend of relief and respect. The lead representative, Eldrick, a tall and dignified figure with a flowing robe and a commanding presence, stepped forward. His eyes held a deep gratitude as he addressed the weary crew. "Welcome back," Eldrick's voice resonated with sincerity. "Your bravery and sacrifice have saved countless lives. The galaxy owes you a great debt." Niles nodded, his voice steady but heavy with emotion. "We've come to report on the mission and to honor our fallen comrade." Eldrick's expression softened. "Please, follow me. The Council is eager to hear your report." The delegation led the crew to a grand assembly chamber within the Galactic Council's headquarters. The room was vast and filled with representatives from various species and star systems. The air was charged with anticipation as the crew prepared to recount their harrowing journey. Niles, Oleg, and Arturo stood before the council, their eyes scanning the sea of faces. Eldrick took his place at the central podium, his gaze steady as he addressed the assembly. "Members of the Galactic Council," Eldrick began, "we are honored to receive the brave crew of the Ithra, who have completed a mission of utmost importance. They will now share their experiences and the outcomes of their efforts." Niles stepped forward, his heart heavy with the weight of their recent experiences. He began to speak, his voice clear and resolute. "Thank you for this opportunity to report on our mission. We were tasked with stabilizing a massive cosmic anomaly that threatened the galaxy. I am proud to say that we succeeded, but the victory came at a great cost." He paused, allowing the gravity of his words to sink in. "Lieutenant Zhao Yang, one of our most skilled and dedicated team members, made the ultimate sacrifice to ensure the stabilization of the Nexus core. Her courage and selflessness have ensured the safety of countless lives." A murmur of awe and respect rippled through the assembly. Eldrick stepped forward, his eyes filled with solemn admiration. "Lieutenant Zhao's sacrifice will be remembered and honored. The Council is deeply grateful for the heroism displayed by your entire crew." Oleg and Torix took their turn recounting the details of the mission. Oleg spoke of the challenges they faced and the technological intricacies involved in stabilizing the anomaly. Torix provided insights into the physical and emotional toll the mission took on the crew. The council listened intently, their faces reflecting a mixture of relief and solemnity. The story of the Aethra's journey and Zhao's ultimate sacrifice was a testament to the resilience and bravery of humanity. As the meeting concluded, Eldrick addressed the crew once more. The council will officially commend Lieutenant Zhao Yang and her team for their unparalleled bravery. We will establish a memorial in her honor, and her name will be forever etched in the annals of our history. Niles, Oleg, and Arturo exchanged glances, their expressions reflecting a mix of relief and gratitude. Zhao's sacrifice was being recognized, and the galaxy would remember her as a symbol of courage and selflessness. The crew returned to the Aethra for a final time, preparing for their journey back to Earth. The weight of their mission's success was tempered by the knowledge that their colleague would be honored for her bravery. As the ship departed from the Galactic Council headquarters, the stars outside seemed to shine a little brighter, a testament to the enduring light of hope and heroism in the vast expanse of space. The journey back to Earth was long and reflective. The crew of the Aethra navigated through the tranquil expanse of space, their minds still processing the recent events. The vast emptiness outside the ship mirrored the emotional void they felt after Zhao's sacrifice. Niles spent much of his time in the command center, reviewing mission logs and reports. His mind was preoccupied with thoughts of Zhao and the impact of their mission. He knew that the story of their journey would not only be one of victory, but also of profound loss. Arturo, who had retreated to his quarters, sought solace in meditation. He struggled to reconcile the ancient wisdom he had relied upon with the stark reality of their mission's outcome. The weight of Zhao's sacrifice was a heavy burden on his spirit. Oleg and Torix busied themselves with the ship's maintenance and data analysis. Despite their exhaustion, they remained focused on ensuring that the Aethra remained in optimal condition for their return to Earth. As the days passed, the crew's sense of anticipation grew. They were eager to return home, to share their story, and to ensure that Zhao's sacrifice was not in vain. The Aethra approached Earth, and the familiar sight of the blue planet filled the view screen, a comforting reminder of their journey's end. The ship entered Earth's atmosphere, its descent guided by the planet's orbital stations. The atmosphere was thick with the warmth of re-entry, and the crew felt a mix of relief and apprehension. They were home, but the weight of their mission still lingered. Upon landing, they were greeted by a contingent of Earth's leaders and media representatives. The crew disembarked, their faces reflecting a blend of exhaustion and resolve. The sight of Earth's welcoming embrace was both a comfort and a reminder of the challenges they had faced. Niles stepped forward, ready to address the assembled crowd. The media flashes and the hum of conversation created a cacophony of sound. He cleared his throat and began to speak. "Thank you all for coming," he said, his voice steady despite the emotions he felt. "We've returned from a mission of great importance. We were tasked with stabilizing a cosmic anomaly that threatened the galaxy. Our team succeeded, but not without a tremendous sacrifice." The crowd listened intently as Niles recounted the mission's details, including the pivotal role Zhao had played. He spoke of her bravery and selflessness, and the crew's determination to complete the mission despite the overwhelming odds. The media representatives captured every moment, their cameras flashing as they documented the story of the Aethra's mission. The news coverage would soon spread across the globe, bringing the story of Zhao's heroism to the public. Arturo, Oleg, and Torix joined Niles in addressing the crowd. Arturo spoke about the ancient wisdom that guided their mission, while Oleg and Torix provided insights into the technical challenges they had overcome. Their combined efforts painted a vivid picture of the journey they had undertaken. As the press conference concluded, the crew was escorted to a private ceremony held in Zhao's honor. The ceremony was attended by high-ranking officials, family members, and representatives from various scientific and exploratory organizations. It was a solemn yet uplifting event, a tribute to Zhao's legacy. Zhao's name was etched onto a commemorative plaque, which was placed in a prominent location at the ceremony. Her contributions were celebrated, and her sacrifice was honored with a moment of silence. Niles, standing beside the plaque, felt a sense of closure. The mission had been a success, but the cost was deeply felt. He reflected on Zhao's impact and the strength of the crew that had worked together to achieve their goal. The ceremony ended with a reception, where the crew members had a chance to speak with guests and share their experiences. The mood was a mix of somber reflection and hopeful optimism. The galaxy was safe, and the crew had returned home, but the memory of Zhao's sacrifice would remain a powerful reminder of the cost of their victory. As the reception drew to a close, Niles, Arturo, Oleg, and Torix gathered together. They shared a quiet moment of reflection, each contemplating the journey they had undertaken and the future that lay ahead. Zhao's sacrifice has shown us the true meaning of bravery, Niles said softly. We owe it to her to continue our work and honor her memory. Arturo nodded in agreement. Her legacy will guide us as we move forward. We must carry the lessons learned and the spirit of our mission with us. As the Ithra departed from the Galactic Council headquarters, the crew's minds were occupied with thoughts of their fallen comrade and the journey home. Yet, back at the Council's grand station, the impact of the crew's actions began to unfold in ways that would reshape the future of the galaxy. The Galactic Council, a coalition of representatives from the most advanced civilizations across the cosmos, had faced a dire threat. The anomaly that had nearly torn the galaxy apart had been stabilized, but the challenges were far from over. The Nexus core was a relic of a bygone era, and the delicate balance it restored was just the beginning of a new chapter. In the days following the stabilization of the anomaly, Eldrick and the council members gathered in an emergency session. The stakes were high, and the future of the galaxy depended on their decisions. The council's headquarters buzzed with activity, the corridors echoing with the sound of urgent discussions and diplomatic negotiations. Eldrick stood at the head of the Grand Council chamber, his tall frame commanding attention as he addressed the gathered representatives. The chamber was a marvel of advanced design, its walls lined with holographic displays and intricate patterns of light that symbolized the unity of the galaxy's diverse cultures. Esteemed colleagues, Eldrick began, his voice resonating with authority, we have witnessed an act of unprecedented bravery. The crew of the Ithra has not only saved us from annihilation, but has also provided us with an opportunity to rebuild and strengthen our collective defenses. The representatives listened intently, their faces reflecting a mixture of concern and determination. Among them were leaders from the Thalaxian Empire, the Aldari Federation, and the Vorkan Alliance, each bringing their own perspective and expertise to the discussions. We must now address the aftermath of the anomaly, Eldrick continued. The Nexus core has been stabilized, but its influence and the consequences of its destabilization have left lasting effects. We need to act decisively to ensure that such a crisis does not arise again. A representative from the Thalaxian Empire, General Kale, spoke up. The stabilization of the Nexus core is a testament to the bravery of the Ithra crew. However, we must consider the implications of the anomaly's impact on our systems. The gravitational distortions and temporal anomalies have caused significant damage to our infrastructure. Eldrick nodded. Indeed. Our first priority is to assess the damage and begin repairs. We will need to coordinate our efforts across the galaxy to address the disruptions caused by the anomaly. Another representative, Ambassador Alara of the Eldari Federation, added, we must also address the social and political repercussions. The anomaly's destabilization has created a sense of unease among the populations of many member worlds. We need to restore confidence and ensure that our citizens understand the steps we are taking to prevent future crises. Eldrick turned to the holographic displays, which now showed a detailed map of the affected regions. We will initiate a series of joint missions to repair and stabilize the affected systems. Our technological and scientific teams will work together to develop solutions for the damage caused by the anomaly. The Council's discussions continued late into the night, as they laid out plans for repair and recovery. They decided to form a special task force, composed of experts from various member worlds, to oversee the restoration efforts. The task force would be responsible for addressing the immediate damage and implementing long-term strategies to safeguard against future threats. The delegation presented the crew with a series of awards and honors, acknowledging their bravery and contributions. The awards were symbolic of the broader recognition of their efforts and the impact they had on the galaxy. As the delegation departed, Niles and his crew took some time to reflect on their experiences. They had faced immense challenges, but their courage and teamwork had seen them through. The journey had changed them, and they were forever bound by the shared experiences and the memory of their fallen comrade. Back at the Galactic Council headquarters, the Special Task Force had begun its work. The repair missions were underway, and the affected systems were gradually returning to normal. The Council's efforts to restore confidence and address the political and social repercussions were also making progress. Eldrick and the Council members worked tirelessly, coordinating with various member worlds and overseeing the restoration efforts. They implemented new protocols and safeguards to prevent future crises and ensured that the lessons learned from the anomaly were applied to their future endeavors. In the months that followed, the galaxy slowly but steadily recovered. The repairs to infrastructure were completed, and the sense of unease that had pervaded many worlds began to dissipate. The cooperation and unity fostered by the crisis laid the foundation for a stronger and more resilient galactic community. The legacy of the Ithra crew and Lieutenant Zhao Yang lived on, not just in the memorials and honors, but in the renewed spirit of collaboration and vigilance that pervaded the galaxy. Their bravery and sacrifice had brought about a profound change, one that would be remembered for generations to come. The sun was setting over Earth, casting a warm golden glow over the bustling cityscape of New London. The towering spires and sleek buildings of the capital were bathed in a soft light, reflecting the calm that had settled over the world after the galaxy's recent turmoil. The people of Earth had returned to their daily lives, but the memory of the heroic efforts of the Ithra crew remained vivid. In the heart of New London, at the headquarters of the Interstellar Cooperation and Defense Agency, Niles sat in his office, reviewing the final reports from their mission. The room was lined with holographic displays, each flickering with data and updates from the Galactic Council. Despite the calm exterior, Niles could feel the weight of the mission's aftermath pressing down on him. Arturo, Oleg, and Torix had all returned to their respective roles, but the camaraderie and the shared experiences of their journey had forged an unbreakable bond between them. They had been given time to rest and recover, but the task of integrating their experiences into Earth's interstellar defense protocols was an ongoing endeavor. Niles' attention was drawn to a notification on his desk, a message from Eldrick, the council representative who had led the delegation to Earth. The message was brief but significant, a reflection of the continued cooperation between Earth and the Galactic Council. Dear Niles, I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to personally update you on the progress we have made since your heroic return. The galaxy is slowly recovering from the effects of the anomaly, thanks to the collective efforts of our member worlds and the insights provided by your team. We have implemented new protocols and technologies to safeguard against future threats, and our collaborative efforts have strengthened the bonds between our civilizations. The legacy of Lieutenant Zhao Yang's sacrifice is honored across the galaxy, and her bravery has inspired many. Thank you once again for your incredible service. We look forward to future collaborations and the continued growth of our interstellar community. Sincerely, Eldrick. Niles read the message with a mixture of pride and melancholy. The words were a reminder of the broader impact of their mission, but they also underscored the personal cost of their victory. Lieutenant Zhao Yang's absence was a profound loss, one that would be felt deeply by all who had known her. As he finished reading, a knock on the door interrupted his thoughts. Arturo entered, his face showing the signs of a man who had been working tirelessly on new projects. His eyes were bright with a mix of enthusiasm and exhaustion. "Hey, Niles," Arturo said, taking a seat across from him. "I've been going through the latest data from the Council's restoration efforts. Things are progressing well, but there are still some areas that need attention. Niles nodded. I've seen the updates. The collaborative efforts are impressive, but there's always more work to be done. How are you holding up? Arturo shrugged. It's been a whirlwind, but it's worth it. We're making a difference, and that's what matters. I just wish Zhao could see the results. Her sacrifice made all this possible. Niles agreed. Yes, it did, and her memory will continue to drive us forward. Their conversation was interrupted by another knock on the door. Oleg and Torix entered, their faces reflecting a shared determination. They had been working on integrating new defense technologies and preparing for potential future threats. We've got some updates on the new defense protocols, Oleg said, holding up a datapad. The integration with the Council systems is nearly complete. We're on track to have everything operational within the next few weeks. Torix nodded. And the new diplomatic measures are already showing positive results. The Council has reported increased cooperation and mutual support among member worlds. Niles smiled, feeling a surge of hope despite the challenges they faced. It's good to hear that things are moving in the right direction. Our efforts are making a difference. As the team continued to discuss their progress, the office's communication system beeped with an incoming transmission. It was a live feed from the Galactic Council headquarters, and Eldric's face appeared on the screen. Good evening, Niles, Eldric greeted. I wanted to provide you with a final update on the aftermath of the anomaly. Good evening, Eldric, Niles replied. We've been following the progress with great interest. What's the latest? Eldric's expression was one of satisfaction and relief. I'm pleased to report that the restoration efforts have been largely successful. The affected systems are stabilizing, and the new protocols are proving effective. We've also seen a notable increase in interstellar cooperation and mutual aid among member worlds. He paused for a moment, his eyes reflecting the weight of the recent events. However, the true measure of our success is not just in the technical achievements, but in the strengthened relationships and the spirit of unity that has emerged from this crisis. The galaxy is now more connected and resilient than ever before. Niles nodded, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. That's wonderful news. It's a testament to the hard work and dedication of everyone involved. Eldric's gaze grew more serious. There is one more thing I wanted to discuss. The Council is considering the establishment of an interstellar academy, dedicated to the study of cosmic anomalies and advanced defense technologies. This academy would serve as a center for research and education, ensuring that future generations are prepared to face any challenges that may arise. Niles' eyes widened with interest. That sounds like an excellent initiative. It would be a significant step toward preparing for future threats and fostering collaboration among civilizations. Eldric smiled. Indeed, we would be honored to have your input and participation in this endeavor. Your experience and insights would be invaluable to the Academy's development. Niles felt a surge of enthusiasm. I would be happy to contribute. It's an opportunity to build on the legacy of our mission and ensure that the lessons we've learned are passed on to future generations. The conversation concluded with mutual agreements and a renewed sense of purpose. As the transmission ended, Niles and his team looked at each other, their faces reflecting the resolve and optimism that had carried them through the mission. The days that followed were filled with preparations and planning. Niles, Arturo, Oleg, and Torix worked closely with the Galactic Council to finalize the details of the Interstellar Academy. Their efforts were driven by a sense of duty and a desire to honor the memory of their fallen comrade. The Academy, once established, became a beacon of knowledge and collaboration. It attracted scholars and scientists from across the galaxy, each bringing their expertise and passion to the study of cosmic phenomena and advanced technologies. The Academy's curriculum emphasized not only technical skills, but also the importance of diplomacy, cooperation, and ethical considerations. As the years passed, the Academy's influence grew, and its impact was felt throughout the galaxy. The strengthened relationships between civilizations led to increased trade, cultural exchange, and mutual support. The galaxy had emerged from its darkest moment with a renewed sense of unity and purpose. Niles and his team continued to contribute to the Academy's mission, sharing their experiences and insights with the next generation of explorers and defenders. Their legacy, and the memory of Lieutenant Zhao Yang, lived on in the Academy's halls and in the hearts of those who had been touched by their courage. Oleg and Torix also expressed their commitment to honoring Zhao's memory. The crew's bond had been strengthened by their shared experiences, and they were determined to continue their work with renewed purpose. As they left the reception and looked out at the night sky, the stars seemed to shine with a new brilliance. The galaxy was safe, and the crew of the Ithra had played a vital role in preserving its harmony. Zhao's legacy would continue to inspire and guide them as they embarked on their future endeavors. The days following the reception were filled with a whirlwind of activity as the crew of the Ithra adjusted to their return to normal life. The media frenzy had subsided, but the impact of their mission continued to resonate. They each faced the challenge of reconciling their personal lives with the extraordinary events they had just endured. Niles, though deeply committed to his duties, found solace in reconnecting with his family. The quiet, familiar environment of his home provided a stark contrast to the cosmic chaos he had recently faced. Yet, even here, the shadow of Zhao's sacrifice lingered, reminding him of the profound cost of their mission. Arturo threw himself into his research, seeking to understand the broader implications of their mission. He worked tirelessly, analyzing data and preparing reports that would help others learn from their experiences. The ancient wisdom he had drawn upon was now intertwined with the practical knowledge gained from their journey. Oleg and Torix, though grateful for their safe return, struggled with a sense of loss. They found comfort in their camaraderie and the shared sense of purpose that had carried them through their ordeal. They continued their work, each finding ways to honor Zhao's memory through their contributions to the scientific community. As weeks passed, the Galactic Council reached out to the crew, expressing their desire to formally acknowledge the impact of their mission. They invited Niles and his team to a special summit, where they would discuss the broader implications of the Nexus core stabilization and the future of galactic cooperation. The summit was held in a grand hall within the Galactic Council's headquarters. Representatives from various species and star systems gathered, their presence a testament to the unity that had been forged through their shared experiences. The hall was adorned with intricate decorations and holographic displays, reflecting the diverse cultures and technologies of the galaxy. Niles, Arturo, Oleg, and Torix arrived at the summit, their expressions a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. They were greeted by Eldrick and other council members, who led them to a designated area where they would present their findings and insights. Eldrick began the proceedings, his voice carrying a note of solemnity. "We are honored to host this summit, where we will discuss the significance of the Ithra's mission and the future of our galactic community. The crew has made tremendous sacrifices, and their insights will help shape our path forward." Niles took the podium, his mind focused on delivering a comprehensive report. "Thank you, Eldrick. Our mission was to stabilize the Nexus core, a task that required not only technological expertise but also unwavering courage. We have successfully stabilized the core, but the process has revealed important lessons about our interconnectedness and the need for continued cooperation." He outlined the technical aspects of their mission, detailing the challenges they faced and the solutions they developed. Arturo and Oleg provided additional insights, discussing the scientific and technological implications of their work. Torix added his perspective on the psychological and emotional aspects of their journey. The summit discussions were thorough and engaging, with representatives from various factions offering their perspectives and contributions. The dialogue was marked by a spirit of collaboration and mutual respect, reflecting the positive outcome of the Ithra's mission. As the summit drew to a close, Eldrick addressed the assembly once more. "The Ithra's mission has demonstrated the power of unity and collaboration in the face of adversity. We are grateful for the crew's bravery and sacrifice, and we commit to fostering continued cooperation among our galactic communities." Niles, Arturo, Oleg, and Torix felt a sense of accomplishment as they concluded their presentations. The discussions had been productive, and the feedback from the summit was overwhelmingly positive. The future of galactic cooperation seemed brighter, with new opportunities for collaboration and shared progress. As the crew left the summit, they reflected on the journey they had undertaken and the impact of their work. The lessons learned from their mission would serve as a foundation for future endeavors, and the memory of Zhao's sacrifice would continue to inspire them. The crew of the Aethra returned to their everyday lives, but their experiences had changed them profoundly. They had faced immense challenges, navigated complex conflicts, and emerged as symbols of bravery and resilience. Their story was now a part of galactic history, a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity and the power of unity. As they moved forward, they carried with them the legacy of their mission and the memory of their fallen comrade. The galaxy had been saved, and the bonds forged through their journey would continue to shape the future. The crew of the Aethra had proven that even in the vast expanse of space, the strength of their spirit and the depth of their courage could overcome any challenge. In the aftermath of the summit, life on Earth slowly returned to its usual rhythm. Yet the impact of the Aethra's mission was still being felt across the galaxy. The Galactic Council's commitment to enhanced cooperation and shared knowledge created a new sense of hope and unity among the various factions. Niles found himself in high demand, giving interviews and attending conferences about the mission's success. Despite the public attention, he remained focused on his primary goal, ensuring that Zhao's sacrifice was remembered and that the lessons from their mission were effectively integrated into future strategies. Arturo, driven by his thirst for knowledge, began collaborating with leading scientists across the galaxy. His insights into the Nexus core and the broader implications of their mission became the foundation for new research initiatives aimed at preventing similar threats in the future. Oleg and Torix returned to their work at the Space Agency, now regarded as experts in anomaly stabilization. They were involved in developing new technologies and protocols designed to handle cosmic anomalies more effectively. Their efforts were a direct continuation of the work they had undertaken on the Aethra. One day, as Niles was working in his office, he received a message from the Galactic Council. The message contained an invitation for him and his team to participate in a groundbreaking project, a collaborative initiative aimed at exploring and understanding cosmic phenomena on a scale never before attempted. The project, known as the Unity Expedition, was a massive undertaking involving multiple species and star systems. Its goal was to explore and map previously uncharted regions of space, identify potential threats, and establish new lines of communication and cooperation among the galaxy's diverse inhabitants. Niles, Arturo, Oleg, and Torix were thrilled by the opportunity to contribute to such an ambitious project. They saw it as a chance to honor Zhao's memory by continuing the work she had been a part of and furthering the cause of interstellar unity. The preparations for the Unity expedition were extensive. The crew of the Aethra was tasked with assembling a new vessel equipped with advanced technology and state-of-the-art systems designed for deep space exploration. The new ship, named the Unity, was a marvel of engineering, incorporating the latest innovations and improvements based on their previous experiences. As the launch date approached, excitement and anticipation filled the air. The crew and their new allies worked tirelessly to ensure that the Unity was ready for its maiden voyage. The project had garnered support from across the galaxy, and the unity displayed in preparing for the expedition was a testament to the progress made since the stabilization of the Nexus core. On the day of the launch, a grand ceremony was held to celebrate the occasion. Representatives from various species and star systems gathered to witness the event. The ceremony was marked by speeches, performances, and a symbolic unveiling of the Unity. Niles and his team took their places on the podium, ready to address the assembled crowd. Eldrick, along with other high-ranking officials, stood beside them, their faces reflecting a mixture of pride and anticipation. "Today marks the beginning of a new chapter in our collective history," Eldrick announced. "The Unity expedition represents our commitment to exploration, collaboration, and the pursuit of knowledge. We are honored to have the crew of the HFY leading this endeavor. Niles, looking out at the sea of faces, spoke with a sense of purpose. We are proud to be a part of this historic mission. Our journey has shown us the power of unity and the strength of our shared resolve. The unity represents the next step in our quest to understand and explore the galaxy. The crowd erupted in applause as the Unity was officially launched. The ship's engines roared to life, and it ascended into the sky, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of countless beings across the galaxy. As the Unity departed Earth's atmosphere and set course for the unknown, the crew felt a renewed sense of purpose. The mission ahead was fraught with challenges and uncertainties, but they were determined to face them with the same courage and resilience that had guided them through their previous trials. The journey of the Unity would take them to the farthest reaches of space, where they would uncover new mysteries, forge new alliances, and continue the legacy of exploration and cooperation that had begun with the HFY's mission. As they ventured into the vast expanse of the galaxy, the crew of the Unity carried with them the memory of their fallen comrade and the lessons learned from their experiences. Their journey was a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity and the power of unity in the face of adversity. The galaxy was a vast and wondrous place, and the crew of the Unity was ready to embrace its challenges and opportunities. Their story was one of bravery, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bonds forged through their shared experiences. With the stars as their guide and the legacy of the HFY as their inspiration, the crew of the Unity embarked on their next great adventure, ready to shape the future of the galaxy and continue the quest for knowledge and understanding. The Unity sailed through the cosmos with a purpose, its crew driven by the promise of new discoveries and the mission to advance galactic unity. The vast expanse of space stretched before them, a canvas of unknowns waiting to be explored. The initial weeks of the journey were filled with routine checks and calibrations as the crew familiarized themselves with the Unity's advanced systems. Each crew member took on specific roles that leveraged their unique skills and experiences from their previous mission. Niles, now the captain, was deeply involved in the strategic planning of their expedition. He was determined to ensure that every decision was made with precision and foresight. Arturo worked on deciphering cosmic data and enhancing the ship's analytical capabilities, driven by the mysteries the universe had yet to reveal. Oleg and Torex managed the technical operations, constantly monitoring and adjusting the ship's systems to ensure everything ran smoothly. The crew's routine was disrupted when the Unity detected an unusual signal emanating from a nearby star system. The signal was faint but distinct, suggesting an advanced technology or an intelligent source. It was a significant find that warranted immediate investigation. As the Unity approached the source of the signal, the crew gathered in the command center. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation. The star system they were approaching was uncharted, its planets and celestial bodies unknown. Niles reviewed the data with Arturo, who was analyzing the signal's patterns. "The signal appears to be repeating in a structured sequence," Arturo noted. "It could be a form of communication or a beacon. We need to get closer to determine its origin." The Unity adjusted its course, navigating through the system's asteroid belt and approaching the source of the signal. As they drew nearer, a large, artificial structure became visible, a massive space station, orbiting a gas giant. The space station was unlike anything they had encountered before. Its design was intricate, with sleek, metallic surfaces and pulsating energy fields. The signal source was clearly linked to the station, but its purpose remained a mystery. Niles and his team prepared for a potential contact scenario. The Unity established a secure communication channel with the station, sending a standard greeting message. The response was delayed, but eventually came through a series of holographic symbols and an invitation to dock. The crew approached the station with caution. As the Unity docked with the station's docking port, they could sense the gravity of the situation. The station's exterior was imposing, but the crew's focus remained on their mission. Upon boarding the space station, they were greeted by a group of alien beings. These aliens were unlike any they had seen before, with bioluminescent skin and fluid, graceful movements. Their communication was through a combination of telepathy and visual signals, creating an eerie yet fascinating interaction. The leader of the alien group, a being named Zephyr, welcomed them with a respectful nod. "We have been expecting you," Zephyr communicated telepathically. "We have observed your journey and are aware of the mission you undertook. We are the Elysians, custodians of this sector of space." Niles, taking the lead, introduced the crew and explained their mission. "We are explorers from Earth, part of the Unity expedition. We received a signal from this station and came to investigate." Zephyr's eyes shimmered with curiosity. "Our station is a repository of knowledge and a hub for interstellar cooperation. We have information that may be of great value to your mission and to the broader galaxy." The Elysians guided the crew through the station, revealing its vast archives and advanced technologies. The station was a treasure trove of scientific knowledge and historical records, with data on cosmic phenomena, ancient civilizations, and advanced technologies. Arturo's eyes widened as he absorbed the wealth of information. "This is incredible. The knowledge here could revolutionize our understanding of the galaxy." Zephyr nodded in agreement. "We are willing to share this knowledge with you, but we seek your assistance in return. Our station has been experiencing disruptions in its energy fields, which are affecting our systems and communications. We believe it may be connected to an external threat." Niles and his team assessed the situation. The energy field disruptions were severe, and the potential for a serious problem was evident. They agreed to assist the Elysians, recognizing the importance of maintaining the station's stability for the sake of their own mission and the broader galactic community. The crew worked alongside the Elysians to identify the source of the disruptions. After thorough investigation, they discovered a hidden sabotage device embedded within the station's infrastructure. The device had been causing intermittent failures in the station's energy fields. Oleg and Torix took the lead in neutralizing the sabotage device, using their technical expertise to carefully dismantle it and repair the affected systems. The Elysians were impressed by their skills and expressed their gratitude for the crew's assistance. With the disruptions resolved, the Elysians resumed their normal operations. They provided the crew with valuable information and resources, enhancing their mission's capabilities and offering insights into the mysteries of the galaxy. As the crew prepared to leave the station, Zephyr expressed his appreciation. "Your assistance has been invaluable. The knowledge and resources we have shared with you will aid in your exploration and contribute to the greater good of the galaxy." Niles, Arturo, Oleg, and Torix departed the Elysian station with a renewed sense of purpose. The encounter had broadened their understanding of the galaxy and provided them with new tools for their mission. The crew's commitment to exploration and cooperation had once again proven to be a powerful force for positive change. The Unity set a new course for its next destination, ready to face the challenges and opportunities that awaited them. Their journey was far from over, and the vast expanse of space still held many secrets to uncover. As the Unity continued its voyage through the galaxy, the crew grew more accustomed to the rhythm of deep space exploration. The knowledge and resources obtained from the Elysians had significantly enhanced their capabilities, and the journey had already yielded some promising leads on new discoveries. One day, the Unity detected an unusual energy signature coming from a nearby nebula. The signature was intermittent and appeared to be influenced by the nebula's gravitational fluctuations. Intrigued by the potential for significant findings, Niles decided to investigate further. The crew adjusted the ship's trajectory to approach the nebula. As they neared, they encountered a spectacular display of swirling colors and intricate patterns, a cosmic phenomenon both beautiful and mysterious. The nebula's dense gases and fluctuating energy fields created a challenging environment for navigation and sensors. Arturo worked diligently to analyze the energy signature, trying to decipher its origin. The signature appears to be artificial, not a natural occurrence. It could be a signal or a beacon, but its precise nature is still unclear. Niles nodded, considering their options. "We need to get closer to determine its source. Prepare the ship for a deep scan, and let's see if we can isolate the signal." The Unity maneuvered carefully through the nebula, its advanced shielding protecting it from the hazardous conditions. The crew monitored their progress closely, adjusting their sensors and instruments to account for the nebula's interference. After several hours of intensive scanning, Arturo finally managed to isolate the signal. "I'm detecting a series of encoded transmissions. It seems to be a form of communication, but the coding is highly complex. We'll need to decipher it to understand the message." The team worked together to crack the code. Arturo and Oleg combined their expertise in signal processing and cryptography, slowly unraveling the intricacies of the transmission. The process was meticulous, requiring patience and precision. As they deciphered the message, a pattern began to emerge. The transmissions contained references to a lost civilization, the Arcanites, and hinted at a hidden repository of their advanced technology. The message suggested that the repository was located within the nebula and could hold critical knowledge about the Arcanites' downfall and their technological achievements. Niles, eager to uncover the truth, decided to follow the clues. "If the repository is within the nebula, we need to find it before the trail goes cold. Let's focus our efforts on pinpointing its exact location." The crew redoubled their efforts, using the decoded transmissions to narrow down their search. After several more hours of searching, they detected a faint but distinct energy signature that matched the description of the repository. The Unity approached the source, navigating through dense gas clouds and gravitational anomalies. The team worked in unison, each member contributing their expertise to ensure a successful approach. The nebula's treacherous conditions tested their skills and resolve, but they persevered. Finally, they arrived at the location of the hidden repository, a massive, ancient structure partially obscured by the nebula's haze. The structure was an imposing edifice, constructed from materials that defied conventional analysis. Its design was both elegant and formidable, hinting at the advanced technology of the Arcanites. As the Unity docked with the structure, the crew prepared for an intricate exploration. The repository's exterior was equipped with advanced security measures, likely designed to protect its contents from unauthorized access. The crew's knowledge and experience would be crucial in bypassing these defenses. Arturo and Torix worked on interfacing with the repository's access systems. The process required careful coordination and a deep understanding of alien technology. The crew faced numerous challenges, including sophisticated encryption and defensive mechanisms. After several hours of intense work, they successfully gained access to the repository. Inside, they discovered a vast array of technological artifacts and data archives. The repository contained detailed records of the Arcanites' scientific achievements, their culture, and the events leading to their decline. The crew eagerly examined the data, uncovering insights into advanced propulsion systems, energy generation technologies, and more. The repository also contained a detailed account of the Arcanites' struggle against a formidable adversary, a malevolent entity that had contributed to their downfall. The information proved to be of immense value, offering not only technological advancements, but also lessons on resilience and strategy. The crew realized that the Arcanites' experience held critical lessons for their own mission and for future encounters with potential threats. As they prepared to leave the repository, Niles reflected on the significance of their find. "The knowledge we've gained here is invaluable. It not only enhances our capabilities, but also provides us with a deeper understanding of the challenges we may face." The crew departed from the nebula with a sense of accomplishment. Their exploration had yielded significant findings that would contribute to the broader goals of the Unity expedition and the quest for galactic unity. The Unity resumed its journey, ready to face the next set of challenges and opportunities. The crew's determination and expertise had once again proven to be a powerful force in their quest for knowledge and understanding. As they ventured further into the galaxy, the crew of the Unity continued to embody the spirit of exploration and cooperation that had guided them throughout their mission. Their experiences had strengthened their bonds and solidified their commitment to the pursuit of knowledge and the betterment of the galactic community. The Unity glided through the void, its advanced systems now bolstered by the Arcanite technology they had unearthed. The crew's excitement about their findings was palpable, yet they remained focused on their overarching mission, exploring uncharted regions and fostering galactic unity. Their next destination was a binary star system known for its peculiar gravitational anomalies. The system had been the subject of numerous reports from various spacefaring civilizations, but its true nature remained largely unexplored. The anomalies were suspected to influence nearby stellar phenomena, making it a prime candidate for investigation. As they approached the binary system, Arturo and Oleg prepared the ship's sensors to detect and analyze the gravitational fluctuations. The Unity's enhanced technology from the Arcanite repository would be crucial in navigating the complex environment. The system was indeed a spectacle. Two stars orbited each other in a graceful dance, casting an intricate light show that the surrounding space. The gravitational anomalies created waves of energy that distorted light and space itself, making the region both mesmerizing and hazardous. Niles gathered the crew in the command center. "We're about to enter a challenging environment. The anomalies in this system are known to interfere with navigation and communication. We need to be cautious and prepared." The crew initiated a series of scans to map the gravitational fluctuations and identify potential hazards. The data revealed a network of energy patterns that seemed to pulse with rhythmic regularity. Arturo theorized that these patterns might be the key to understanding the anomaly's effects. As they ventured deeper into the system, the Unity encountered a series of energy surges that disrupted their systems. The crew worked swiftly to stabilize the ship, using the new Arcanite technology to counteract the fluctuations and maintain their course. Suddenly, the ship's sensors detected an unusual structure hidden within one of the gravitational anomalies. The structure was massive, with an architecture that seemed to defy conventional design principles. It appeared to be an ancient space station or research facility, partially obscured by the energy waves. The crew decided to investigate the structure, believing it could hold valuable information or technology. The Unity carefully navigated through the energy waves, its advanced shielding protecting it from the intense forces. Upon docking with the structure, the crew prepared to explore its interior. The facility's design was both awe-inspiring and intimidating, with intricate geometric patterns and a sense of grandeur that hinted at its significance. Inside, they discovered a labyrinthine network of corridors and chambers. The facility was filled with advanced machinery and data consoles, many of which were still operational despite the facility's age. Arturo and Torix worked to access the facility's systems, hoping to uncover its purpose and gather any relevant data. The facility's archives contained detailed records about the gravitational anomalies and their influence on nearby space. The data revealed that the facility had been a research center for studying the binary star system's anomalies. The researchers had been investigating ways to harness the energy fluctuations for advanced propulsion and power generation. Their work had been cut short by a catastrophic event, leaving the facility abandoned and incomplete. Among the records, the crew found a series of logs detailing the researchers' final experiments. The logs described a groundbreaking project aimed at creating a stable energy conduit that could channel the anomaly's power for practical use. However, the project had encountered unforeseen complications, leading to a containment breach and the eventual abandonment of the facility. The crew realized that the research could have significant implications for their own mission. Harnessing the energy fluctuations from the binary system could provide a new source of power and potentially revolutionize their technological capabilities. Niles discussed the findings with the team. The researchers' work could be the key to unlocking new advancements in energy technology. We need to assess whether we can complete their project and integrate their findings into our own systems. The crew worked together to analyze the remaining equipment and data. With the Arcanite technology they had acquired, they were able to make significant progress on the project. They constructed a prototype energy conduit, carefully calibrating it to stabilize the fluctuations and channel the energy. After several intense days of work, the prototype was operational. The conduit successfully harnessed the energy from the binary system, providing a powerful and stable source of energy for the Unity. The breakthrough was a major accomplishment, demonstrating the crew's ability to overcome complex challenges and advance their mission. As the Unity prepared to leave the binary system, Niles reflected on their achievements. "We've made significant strides in understanding the anomalies and harnessing their energy. This will greatly enhance our capabilities and contribute to the broader goals of the Unity expedition." The crew set a course for their next destination, ready to continue their exploration and uncover new mysteries. Their journey was a testament to their resilience, expertise, and commitment to the pursuit of knowledge. The Unity sailed onward, its crew eager to embrace the challenges and opportunities that awaited them. Each discovery brought them closer to their goals and reaffirmed their dedication to the cause of galactic unity and exploration. The stars outside the Unity's viewport shimmered like a tapestry of dreams. The crew had grown accustomed to the endless dance of celestial lights, but the sector they were approaching was unlike any they had encountered before. It was known for its spatial distortions, an area where the very fabric of space seemed to twist and fold in on itself. Niles glanced at the viewscreen, where the stars appeared to bend and waver. "We're entering the sector," he said, his voice steady despite the unusual sight. "Everyone, prepare for significant spatial distortions." Archero, seated at his console, was already adjusting the ship's systems. "We've encountered gravitational anomalies before, but this is something else. The distortions are fluctuating in ways we've never seen." The Unity eased into the sector, the stars around them warping into strange shapes. The ship's sensors struggled to maintain a clear reading, the data frequently interrupted by the energy waves that rippled through the space. Oleg joined Archero at the sensor array, both of them working furiously to stabilize their instruments. "We need to filter out the distortions to get any useful data. If we can isolate the signals, we might find something of value." As the crew worked to stabilize the ship, a series of erratic signals emerged from the chaotic backdrop of the sector. Archero's eyes widened as he decoded the signals. "These signals are artificial. It's like someone or something is trying to communicate through the distortions." Niles' interest was piqued. "If these signals are indeed intentional, they could lead us to something significant. Let's track them down." The Unity adjusted its course to follow the signals, weaving carefully through the gravitational anomalies. The stars around them seemed to dance in a bizarre, mesmerizing pattern, each shift of light revealing glimpses of a hidden structure. Hours passed as they navigated the treacherous environment, and then, through the distortions, they spotted it, an ancient outpost, partially cloaked by the shifting space. Its architecture was imposing, with sleek lines and intricate symbols that hinted at an advanced civilization. The ship docked with the outpost, and the crew donned their exploratory gear. The interior of the facility was a maze of corridors and chambers, filled with a strange but captivating technology. Soft lights flickered along the walls, casting eerie shadows in the dimly lit halls. Archero and Torix led the way, their faces by the glow of their datapads. "We need to access the facility's central database," Archero said, his voice echoing slightly in the vast hall. "If we can interface with their systems, we might uncover the purpose of this outpost." As they navigated through the facility, the team encountered sophisticated equipment and data consoles. The layout of the outpost was as intricate as its exterior, with rooms branching off in every direction. Torix worked on interfacing with the central system, his fingers flying over the controls. "I'm accessing their archives. Let's see what secrets this place holds." The data began to flow, revealing records about the spatial distortions. The researchers had been studying these phenomena for centuries, attempting to harness and stabilize them for practical use. Their records detailed ambitious projects, including the creation of a wormhole network designed to facilitate faster-than-light travel. The logs painted a vivid picture of the researchers' struggles and triumphs. They had been on the verge of a breakthrough when a catastrophic event had forced them to abandon their work. The facility had remained untouched ever since, its technology a relic of a bygone era. Niles reviewed the findings with a team. "The knowledge here is remarkable. If we can adapt their technology It could revolutionize our capabilities. We need to see if we can complete their work. The crew set to work, using the outpost's blueprints and technology to build a prototype wormhole generator. The project was complex, requiring careful calibration and adjustment to stabilize the spatial distortions. Days turned into nights as the crew labored, their determination unwavering. Finally, the prototype was ready. They powered it up, and a stable wormhole formed before their eyes, a shimmering gateway to distant parts of the galaxy. The crew marveled at their creation. "We did it," Arturo said, his voice filled with awe. "We've created a stable conduit through the distortions." Niles nodded, his gaze focused on the swirling vortex. "This breakthrough will open up new avenues for exploration. We've transformed the unknown into a realm of possibilities." As the Unity prepared to leave the outpost, Niles couldn't help but reflect on their journey. The discoveries they had made and the obstacles they had overcome were a testament to their resilience and ingenuity. With the wormhole generator integrated into their systems, the crew set a course for their next destination. The Unity sailed onward, its crew eager to explore new horizons and embrace the challenges that awaited them. Their adventure was far from over, but each step brought them closer to their goals. The galaxy was a vast and wondrous place, and the crew of the Unity was ready to chart its uncharted depths. The Unity sailed through the newly created wormhole, its crew eagerly anticipating what lay on the other side. The experience of traversing such a conduit was exhilarating, the stars stretching and then collapsing into a point of light before expanding into the next sector. The crew marveled at the smoothness of the journey, a testament to their recent technological advancement. As they emerged from the wormhole, the crew was greeted by a new and unfamiliar region of space. The sector was filled with vibrant nebulae and swirling cosmic clouds, by the light of distant, newly discovered stars. The sight was breathtaking, an otherworldly panorama of color and light. Arturo analyzed the sensor data, his brow furrowed with concentration. "We're picking up numerous anomalies and energy readings. This sector seems to be teeming with activity." Niles joined him at the console. "Let's get a detailed scan of the area. We need to understand what we're dealing with before proceeding." The crew set to work, deploying a series of probes to gather more information. The scans revealed that the sector was home to several uncharted celestial phenomena, including unstable plasma storms and rogue gravitational waves. The data also indicated the presence of a number of ancient, abandoned outposts scattered throughout the region. One outpost, in particular, caught their attention. It was located on the edge of a massive, swirling nebula. The structure was partially obscured by the nebula's dense clouds, its silhouette a faint outline against the backdrop of cosmic brilliance. "We should investigate that outpost," Niles suggested. "It could hold valuable information or technology that could aid us in our mission." The Unity adjusted its course, carefully navigating through the turbulent nebula. The crew worked diligently to keep the ship steady as it passed through the swirling gases and fluctuating energy fields. As they approached the outpost, the crew's excitement grew. The structure was an impressive sight, its design a blend of ancient and futuristic elements. It seemed to have been constructed to withstand the harsh environment of the nebula. The ship docked with the outpost, and the crew disembarked to explore its interior. The facility was dimly lit, with the ambient glow of the nebula casting eerie shadows on the walls. The outpost was filled with advanced technology and intricate machinery, much of it still operational despite the passage of time. Arturo and Torix led the way, their datapads the path as they searched for the central control room. The facility's layout was complex, with numerous corridors and chambers branching off in every direction. In the central control room, they found a series of data consoles and communication devices. The consoles were covered in a thick layer of dust, but they appeared to be intact. Arturo began working to access the facility's systems. "It looks like the outpost was used for monitoring and analyzing cosmic phenomena," Arturo said, his eyes scanning the data. "There's a wealth of information here about the nebula and its surroundings." Torix continued to explore the control room, discovering a series of data logs and research notes. The logs detailed the outpost's observations of the nebula and its effects on nearby space. The researchers had been studying the nebula's influence on star formation and cosmic energy fields. Among the logs, the crew found references to a project aimed at harnessing the energy from the nebula for advanced propulsion systems. The researchers had made significant progress, but had been forced to abandon the project due to the instability of the energy fields. Niles reviewed the findings with the team. This research could be crucial for our mission. If we can complete their work and stabilize the energy fields, it could give us a significant advantage. The crew set to work, using the outpost technology to develop a prototype energy stabilizer. The project was challenging, requiring careful adjustments to account for the nebula's fluctuating energy fields. After several days of intense work, the prototype was ready. The energy stabilizer successfully stabilized the energy fields, providing a stable and powerful source of energy. The breakthrough was a major achievement, enhancing the Unity's capabilities and providing new opportunities for exploration. As the Unity prepared to leave the nebula, Niles reflected on their accomplishments. We've made significant strides in understanding and harnessing cosmic phenomena. This will greatly enhance our mission and expand our reach in the galaxy. The crew set a course for their next destination, eager to continue their journey and explore the new possibilities opened by their latest discovery. The Unity sailed onward, its crew ready to embrace the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. Their adventure was a testament to their resilience, expertise, and commitment to the pursuit of knowledge. Each discovery brought them closer to their goals and reaffirmed their dedication to the cause of galactic unity and exploration. Unity sailed through the newly created wormhole, the crew brimming with excitement as they anticipated the unexplored sector awaiting them. The transition from one cosmic realm to another was smooth, an unexpected testament to their recent technological triumph. As they emerged, the new sector was a spectacle of vibrant nebulae and swirling cosmic clouds by distant stars. The crew was awed by the surreal beauty, yet aware that their journey was far from over. Arturo was busy at the sensors, adjusting the ship's instruments to account for the new region's unique features. "We're detecting multiple anomalies and energy readings," he reported. "This sector is buzzing with activity." Niles, looking at the data, nodded in agreement. "Let's scan for anything out of the ordinary. We need to be cautious." The crew deployed probes to gather more detailed information. Amidst the data, a significant find stood out: an abandoned outpost on the edge of a massive nebula. Its silhouette was faint, obscured by the nebula's dense clouds. "We should investigate," Niles said, his voice steady. "This could be the key to understanding the energy disturbances and cosmic phenomena we've been encountering." The Unity navigated through the turbulent nebula, its sensors straining against the chaotic energy fields. As they approached the outpost, it became evident that it was an ancient facility, a marvel of both past and future technology. Docking with the outpost, the crew disembarked into its dimly lit corridors. Advanced yet dusty machinery filled the space, a relic from a bygone era. Arturo and Torix led the exploration, their datapads the way. In the central control room, they found consoles and data logs detailing the outpost's research. The facility had been dedicated to studying cosmic phenomena and harnessing the nebula's energy. It was clear that the researchers had made significant progress, but something had gone awry. As Arturo interfaced with the central system, he uncovered alarming data. The researchers had been developing a device intended to stabilize the nebula's energy fields for advanced propulsion. However, their experiments had inadvertently created a cascading energy feedback loop, destabilizing the nebula's core. "According to these logs," Arturo said, his face pale, "the feedback loop could trigger a massive energy surge, potentially causing a catastrophic explosion that could engulf this entire sector." Niles' eyes widened. "We need to shut down the feedback loop before it's too late." The crew worked swiftly to assess the outpost's energy systems. The energy stabilizer they had recently developed could potentially counteract the destabilization. but it required precise calibration and integration with the existing technology. As they race against time, the nebula's energy fluctuations intensified, causing the facility's systems to malfunction. The once stable corridors became unstable, shaking with the rising energy levels. Suddenly, a blaring alarm filled the outpost. The feedback loop was accelerating beyond their control. Arturo and Torix worked feverishly to stabilize the systems, their hands moving with practiced precision. "We're running out of time," Torix shouted. "We need to recalibrate the energy stabilizer to synchronize with the outpost core systems." Arturo adjusted the settings on the prototype stabilizer, his concentration unwavering despite the chaos. The energy fields around them crackled with increasing intensity, the nebula's turbulence threatening to breach the facility's hull. With a final adjustment, the stabilizer emitted a powerful pulse, counteracting the feedback loop's effects. The energy surge began to subside, the nebula's instability gradually diminishing. The alarms ceased, and the facility's systems returned to a semblance of normalcy. Niles breathed a sigh of relief. "We've stabilized the feedback loop, but we need to get out of here before the nebula's energy fields become too volatile." The crew quickly gathered their equipment and data, making their way back to the Unity. As they departed the outpost, the nebula's energy fields continued to fluctuate, but the immediate threat had been contained. Once safely aboard the Unity, Niles addressed the crew. "We've managed to avert a catastrophe, but we need to be cautious. The research from this outpost has given us valuable insights, but it also serves as a reminder of the dangers inherent in cosmic phenomena." The crew set a course for their next destination, their spirits buoyed by their recent success, but tempered by the reminder of the risks they faced. The galaxy was filled with wonders and dangers, and their journey was far from over. As the Unity sailed onward, the crew remained vigilant, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Their mission to explore and understand the cosmos continued, their resolve strengthened by the trials they had overcome. As the Unity left the unstable nebula behind, the crew took stock of their recent experiences. The data gathered from the ancient outpost was invaluable, and the prototype energy stabilizer had proven its worth. However, a lingering question remained: what was the true purpose of the outpost and the experiments conducted there? Niles, Arturo, and Torix gathered in the command center, reviewing the outpost data logs. The research hinted at a larger plan, involving a series of outposts connected through a network of wormholes. The idea was to create a galaxy-wide transportation grid, but the instability of the nebula had halted progress. This network could revolutionize travel and communication across the galaxy, Niles said, his gaze fixed on the star maps. But it seems like the researchers ran into significant problems. Torix nodded, tapping the datapad. "We need to find other outposts in this network. They might contain more information or technology that could help us understand and complete their work." With renewed purpose, the crew set a course to locate additional outposts. The next few days were filled with intense scanning and exploration, each new outpost revealing more about the ambitious project. The discoveries painted a picture of a grand design, with multiple interconnected stations designed to stabilize and control cosmic phenomena. One outpost, in particular, stood out. It was located at the core of a massive black hole, a location fraught with danger, but potentially holding the key to unlocking the entire network's secrets. "We need to investigate this outpost," Niles said, determination in his voice. "If it's as crucial as it seems, it could be the final piece of the puzzle." The Unity adjusted its course, approaching the black hole with caution. The crew was well aware of the risks involved, but their mission was clear. They needed to unlock the full potential of the outpost network. As they neared the outpost, they encountered intense gravitational forces and energy distortions. The ship's systems were pushed to their limits as they maneuvered through the hostile environment. Finally, they docked with the outpost, and the crew disembarked into its interior. The facility was in a state of disrepair, but the core systems were still operational. Arturo and Torix worked to access the central control room, where they hoped to find the final piece of the puzzle. In the core control room of the Black Hole Outpost, the crew discovered a series of data logs and research notes detailing the outpost's role in the network. The facility had been designed to stabilize and control the energy flow between the various outposts, ensuring the network's functionality. However, the logs also revealed a critical flaw in the system. The energy from the black hole was unstable and could cause a catastrophic collapse if not properly managed. "This is more complicated than we thought," Arturo said, his face tense as he reviewed the data. "The energy from the black hole is on the verge of going critical. We need to implement emergency stabilization procedures immediately." The crew sprang into action, working tirelessly to stabilize the outpost's core systems. The energy fluctuations were intense, and the risk of a catastrophic collapse loomed large. As they worked, they encountered unexpected complications. The data revealed that the outpost stabilizer had been sabotaged, likely by those who had abandoned it. The sabotage had left the core systems in a precarious state, requiring swift and precise repairs. Torix, using his expertise, identified the sabotage points and began repairs. Arturo coordinated with the team, ensuring that the energy levels were carefully monitored and adjusted. After hours of intense work, the core systems were stabilized. The energy flow was now under control, and the outpost functionality was restored. The network was back online, but the danger had not fully passed. "We've stabilized the system, but we need to ensure that the network remains functional," Niles said, surveying the control room. "We should perform a full diagnostic and implement additional safeguards." The crew conducted a thorough diagnostic of the outpost network, identifying and correcting any potential issues. The repairs were meticulous, ensuring the network's stability and functionality. With the outpost network stabilized and functional, the crew of the Unity took a moment to reflect on their journey. The challenges they had faced and the discoveries they had made had been monumental. They had successfully restored a crucial part of the galaxy's infrastructure and prevented a potential disaster. The Galactic Council, informed of their success, hailed their achievement as a major breakthrough. The Council extended their gratitude, recognizing the crew's bravery and expertise. "This mission has been a testament to our determination and ingenuity," Niles said, addressing his crew. "We've overcome incredible obstacles and made significant strides in understanding and harnessing cosmic phenomena." As the crew prepared to return to Earth, they received a transmission from the Galactic Council. The Council expressed their appreciation and invited them to participate in the ongoing efforts to expand and enhance the galactic transportation network. "We're offering you a unique opportunity," the Council representative said. "Join us in this grand endeavor and help shape the future of interstellar travel and communication." The crew, though eager to return home, was intrigued by the offer. They had seen firsthand the potential of the outpost network and the impact it could have on the galaxy. "We'll consider the offer," Niles said. "For now, we're heading back to Earth to report on our findings and assess our next steps." As the Unity made its way back to Earth, the crew reflected on their experiences and the future that lay ahead. The journey had been filled with challenges and triumphs, and they had emerged stronger and more knowledgeable. The return trip was a time for introspection and planning. The crew discussed their options and considered the implications of the Galactic Council's offer. The idea of contributing to the expansion of the galactic network was appealing, but they also recognized the importance of returning to Earth and sharing their discoveries. Upon arriving back on Earth, the crew was greeted with a hero's welcome. The Galactic Council's recognition and the success of their mission were celebrated, and their findings were shared with the scientific community and the public. Niles addressed a gathering of leaders and scientists, detailing the crew's journey and the impact of their discoveries. The information was met with enthusiasm, and plans were set in motion to integrate the new technology and expand the galactic network. "The work we've done here is just the beginning," Niles said. "We've unlocked new possibilities for exploration and connection across the galaxy. The future is bright, and we have much more to discover." As the crew prepared for their next adventure, They knew that their journey was far from over. The galaxy was vast and filled with wonders, and they were ready to continue their quest for knowledge and discovery. The crew of the Unity stood united, their spirits high and their resolve unwavering. They had faced the unknown and emerged victorious, their mission a testament to human ingenuity and courage. The stars beckoned, and the crew was ready to answer the call.